run anyone over to get to this show. Because if you do, you might be called out. So celebrate the wins and the finishes with us. It has a chance. It's in the hole. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. Boy, do we have a jam show tonight. Fun-filled.
We have a lot of stuff to talk about. The weather cooperated for the most part. Got a lot of activities in, and we had a lot of video, a lot of cameras out getting video, so a lot of stuff to share.
Yeah, we can't really banter as much as we would quite like to do.
Well, we'll still find time to gab just a little bit here and there. We'll start by talking about the baseball team. Baseball team started last week's play with a trip to Blaine on Tuesday. After dropping their opener to Totino Grace, the Bengals had scored convincing victories in back-to-back games. Cardinals, whose offense has been up and down to start the season, would need to be on the upside if they wanted to get past the Bengals on the road. Cardinals get a leadoff single to start the first, but it's erased when Xander Parr grounds into the 3-6-3 double play. Bengals defense came up big in this game. Blaine gets on the board at the bottom of the first. Runners at the corners and one out for Mac Enlow. He drives it to center. Ryan Garlick not able to track it down. John Koenig trots home to make it 1-0 Bengals. Same score into the fourth. More Big D from the home team. Kirby Peary bounces it back to the mound. Jack Herring starts the Bengals' third double play in the first 4 innings. Bengals pad the lead in the bottom of the fourth. Dylan Wilson with a drive to deep right field. This one right at the base of the fence. Enlow was running from first. He's going to stop up at third, but both runners are there. Still able to get home and score. Wilson scored later in the inning, 3-0 Blaine after 4. They had 3 more in the fifth. Tony Strand with a drive to deep left with 2 on and nobody out. Koenig will score 2 more into scoring position. One came home on a balk, the other on a sac fly. Enlow lofts it to deep left center. And Strand will score easily from third to complete the scoring. Bengals blank the Cardinals 6-0.
Well, the Cardinals were back home on Thursday and facing another very tough challenge. The Centennial Cougars came into the game undefeated at 5-0, and they had scored 11 or more runs in each of their last 3 games. The Cardinals would need to be on the top of their game offensively and defensively. Cougars scored 2 in the top of the first, but the Cardinals get them right back in the home half. Kirby Peary finds a hole up the middle. Logan Rotzine will come home to score. The game is tied at 2 after 1. Move to the top of the second. Bases loaded and nobody out. Jake Ellinger with a line drive to left center. 2 runs will score, but the Cards will catch Dalton McNamara in the rundown. He's out trying to get back to third, 4-2. At the bottom of that point, you're going to see the rundown right here. Peary going to run him down, and then there's the tag. 5-3 in the bottom of the third, and Jackson Aurelius is going to sky this one to short center. Still, it's deep enough for Ryan Garlick at third. He sprints home, and that's going to make it a 1-run game. Bottom 5, 1 out. Kirby is off with the pitch from first. Carter Anderson grounds it to third. The throw is off the mark. Peary is going to round the bases and score easily on the error, and it's tied up at 5 apiece. Just 2 batters later, Jackson Aurelius steps into the fastball, delivers a solid single to center. Anderson will score to give the Cards their first lead of the game. Jack Arndt, he's up next, and he singles right back through the box. Ryan Garlick will score again. Coon Rapids gets 1 more in the inning, goes on to the 8-5 win, a big bounce back. It's something they needed very desperately.
Absolutely, and playing pretty well to start the season, getting the bats going, a lot of offense showing. That's great news for the Cardinals. 4-2 through their first 6. I think if you had talked to them before they started the season, they'd have been happy with 4-2.
Yeah, I would think so as well. And I mean, this is a team that's hitting the ball well, for the most part playing pretty well defensively. And I think their pitching has been pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, and they've gone a little deeper into the pitching. On Monday, they were down in Edina for a night game against the Hornets, and they came back from a 4-1 deficit to tie the game at 4, and then unable to hold on. Xander Parr with 3 for 4 with an RBI. Kirby Peary had 2 doubles with 2 for 4, scored 2 of the Cardinals' 4 runs in the game. Ryan Garlick also 2 for 4. Tony Omanos 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And Jack Flassity Had 3 scoreless innings, but couldn't hold the lead in the 7th. Unfortunate, but just a sophomore, his first varsity experience. Antonio Manos as well, just a sophomore. So a couple of sophomores cracking the varsity lineup against Edina. That's a good thing. Unfortunately, they come away with the loss.
Yeah, I mean, it was 4-4 in the bottom of the 6th, and unfortunately, you're right, though, they couldn't hold that lead. But really nice to get productions from some of those younger players.
Well, the Cardinals will have another night game on Friday night over at Wintercrest as they take on Andover. And Howie?
We'll be there.
Then they are at Spring Lake Park next Monday. Softball team started against Osseo last week, beating the Orioles 5-1 on Thursday or Wednesday. One of those days. Evening their record at 2-2. Meg Scheck had a home run for the Cardinals as they're starting to get the bats a little hotter. She and E. Johnson both 2 for 3 in the game. Numala went 1 for 3, drove in a run. Abby Graham 2 for 3. Sam Lom had 6 innings pitched to get the win with 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. Cardinals feeling pretty good after that win, but they knew they had much stronger competitor coming to the complex the very next day. Centennial Cougars were undefeated in 4 games. They had scored 10 against Irondale on Tuesday and 15 against Park Center on Wednesday, so they were coming into Thursday's game red hot. Cardinals were looking to cool them off and keep their own streak intact. Cougars jumped to the lead in the top of the first. Maddie Newman with a slow roller to the left side. It's an easy ground out, but good base running by Corin Jacobson at third, slides in safely with game's first run. Runs were tough to come by in this one. Top of 3, 1 out, 1 on. Hot shot back to the circle. No problem for E. Johnson. Snags it, gets it to first to complete the double play. Still 1-0. Alyssa Montero in the circle for Centennial, and she kept the Cardinal hitters off balance all game. She struck out the side in the 3rd inning. She had 9 strikeouts in the game. Johnson had 6 Ks in this one, but in a little trouble in the 5th. Runners at the corners with 1 out. A perfectly executed double steal. Everybody's safe, and the Cougars are up 2-0. Bottom 6, 2 on and 1 out. Johnson helping her own cause. Lines it to left. Sam Lom not about to stop at 3rd. She's coming home to score. Cut the lead in half for the Cardinals. Abby Graham hustles over to 3rd safely, and the tying run is just 60 feet away. That's as close as they'd get, though. Montero shuts him down the rest of the way, getting a called 3rd strike to finish the ball game. Cardinals lose 2-1.
Tough loss at home for them, obviously, against a really good Centennial team. And both pitchers obviously pitched really well, and just unfortunate they couldn't get that second run.
15 strikeouts in the game.
Bad.
But you talk about a team that came in with 25 runs in their previous 2 games, and you hold them to just 2. That's pretty good.
Impressive. Yep.
Unfortunate they couldn't get a little better crack at Montero, try and get more than 1 of their own. Cardinals then played the Blaine Bengals and come up very short against Blaine, losing 10-1. Just 2 hits in the ball game for the Cardinals, but one of them is monumental. Abby Graham picking up her 100th career hit for the Cardinals program. She's been playing since her freshman year. The all-time hits leader for Coon Rapids High School, Sam Lom, had the other hit, went 1 for 3. Meg Scheck had the only walk of the afternoon for the Cardinals. She also drove in the lone run. Sam Lom took the loss, just 1 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits, 8 runs. Only 2 of those were earned. On Monday, the Cardinals were in Brainerd, and they come up just short, losing 5-4. Abby Graham picks up another one. That's number 101 for those of you counting at home. Elia Johnson went 2 for 4 with a double. Cameron Schmalzer went 2 for 3. We like their names so much, we put them on the graphic twice. Abby Carls, 1 for 1 with an RBI. That's a nice day. Come in, pinch hit, get a single, drive in a run. Elia Johnson pitched well, but picks up the loss in 5 1/3 innings. Cardinals are at Matamita on Wednesday, and they are at Andover on Thursday. And a club that you know has potential to hit the long ball. Hasn't seen a lot of that.
Nope.
Offense has sputtered a little bit, but still a lot of softball to be played.
Yeah, we'll actually be there on Thursday, so it'll be again an opportunity to see the softball team again.
All right, tennis team very busy this time of year. Last week started with a trip to Maple Grove. They lost to the Crimson 7-0. Sam Murillo at first singles dropped his 1-6, 1-6. Closest set at singles comes from Derek Avery at fourth singles, going 4-6, 5-7. Vu and Stein team up and come up short, 2-6, 1-6. Speltz was with Johnson at second doubles for the 1-6, 1-6 scores. Tennis team.
That's me.
Thanks. That's your
Well,
game.
I can leave if you want to just keep going. That's not a problem.
Sorry, I get on a roll. It's hard to stop.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. No problem. The tennis team is in the midst of a really tough stretch of games. On Thursday, they hosted crosstown rival Blaine. The Cardinals are historically the stronger program, but things are a little different this season. Coon Rapids' lineup is incredibly young, while the Bengals are a bit deeper, more a veteran club on the court. Cardinals struggle to keep pace with the Bengals on most courts, but a strong match from Nick Yang at second singles. He makes his opponent work for every point in every game. Yang comes up short, losing 6-7, 3-6. Captain Liam Speltz got a good start at third singles, but he couldn't keep pace in the second set. Wins this point on a miss hit, but unfortunately loses the match 4-6, 0-6. Sophomore Derek Avery in the near court for the Cardinals at fourth singles. Great net play on this point, winning the overhead smash. Avery battles but comes up short, losing his match 2-6, 2-6. Cardinals results didn't get any better through the doubles lineup. Tyler Hewitt takes this point himself at first doubles. He and Hong Vu play better in the second set but lose 0-6, 3-6. Bengals sweep the Cardinals by a score of 7-0.
The Cardinals were right back at it on Friday afternoon when the Irondale Knights paid them a visit. The Knights were off to a great start with 5 wins already in this young season. Cardinals still looking for their first win, would definitely have their hands full. CTN was at the Bob Pivot courts for this one, highlighting the top singles and doubles matches. At first singles, 8th grader Sam Murillo taking on Irondale's Amar Adel. Murillo playing some really nice points, showing why he's at the top single spot at such a young age. But Adele's experience just too much. Murillo won just one game, falling 1-6, 0-6. Hong Vu serving at first doubles for the Cardinals. He and Tyler Hewitt facing off against Irondale's top pair. Great point here for Hong, taking the return and splitting the Knights with his backhand. Unfortunately, Vu and Hewitt couldn't string enough of those points together. Another nice point here, this time for Tyler Hewitt. But in the end, they lose in straight sets, 1-6, 2-6. Cardinals' only wins came from Derek Avery at fourth singles and Johnson and Stein at second doubles. Irondale wins 5-2.
It was a long day for both the first singles and the first doubles team.
Well, you have an 8th grader in Sam Murillo.
Yep,
that's very, very young,
and
we talked about it a lot.
Yep.
Facing the best the other team has to offer,
yep,
night in and night out. And then you have Hong Vu, who's a senior, and Tyler Hewitt, who's a junior, facing the other 2 senior captains. So all 3 senior captains for Irondale were on the courts covered by CTN, and at times. Murillo gave Adele all he could handle, and at times the top doubles team was in control. So it's just a matter of finding that consistency, and you know how mental a game tennis can be.
Without any doubt. And coming into that one, Irondale had been hot. They came in 6-2, and so the Cardinals had their work cut out for them on that day. And unfortunately, a 5-2 loss didn't get what the team wanted.
Well, on Monday, the Cardinals did get what they were hoping for. Their first victory of the year. They beat Princeton 4-3. Nick Yang started it off with a 6-1, 6-2 win at second singles. Derek Avery moving up to third singles and getting a 3-set victory. Great comeback by the sophomore. Started out falling behind 5-7, but came back to win 6-2, 6-3. Speltz, Hewitt teamed up at second doubles to win 6-4, 6-2. Johnson and Tara Beza at third doubles won in 3 sets, and again coming from behind to get that victory.
Always nice to be on the winning side of a 4-3 match.
It was. They were supposed to have another match today, but rained out. Yeah, we were supposed to have a baseball and a softball game and a tennis game, but yeah, everything pretty much rained out today. I believe even the track Bengal Invite was rained out as well. For the tennis team, they have Champlin Park coming to the Pivot courts on Thursday, and then they host the Cardinal Invitational on Saturday. Well, we were missing Coach Scott Storick when we visited the court on Friday, and that's because he was with the robotics team. Pretty cool story. First year of this program, they're all 9th and 10th graders, but they went into a competition where they were the only team to be a first-year program, and they finished 19th out of 64 teams.
It's amazing.
And got themselves an invitation to Worlds, so that's where they were last Friday.
Yep.
They got an opportunity to go and see what other kids are doing at other schools all the way around the country, and pretty fantastic. Great program, and just one more thing for Scott Storick to put on his plate.
Well, yeah, I mean, he doesn't have enough already, but able to do that. But that's just a great story because, especially with the age of these kids and going over there and getting that kind of recognition. Congratulations to all you. Well, the track and field teams were at East Ridge High School last Tuesday for the 8-team Roseville Invitational. Both Cardinal squads did well, with the majority of the athletes turning in season or personal best. It's a great sign, especially this early in the schedule. Beautiful facility at East Ridge and a beautiful day for a big event. Cardinals are going to take advantage of the opportunity. Coming up, Grace Henneman in the far right lane for the 100-meter hurdles. Great race for Grace as she takes second place in a time of 16.51. 100-meter dash, sophomore Faiza Akuri off to a strong start this season. She has a personal best at a time of 13:44. That's good enough for 5th place in the tournament. Move to the 300-meter hurdles. Abby Russ, second in her heat with a time of 49:20. She finished 4th place overall as the team. The Cards were 5th. Well, on the boys' side, junior Spencer Hoyam was not just good, he was dominant at Roseville Invitational. Wins the 110 hurdles in a time of 15:73, more than a full second ahead of second place. Abdisa Koji continues to be a competitor for the Cardinals in both the short and mid-distance sprints. Took 3rd place in the 400 last week, posting a time of 53:04. Good job there. We're going to move back to the hurdles. Hoyam again, this time in the 300 hurdles, and as you can see how far ahead he is. Hoyam coasts to the win in the time of 41.46. Coon Rapids finishes in 3rd place. Nice job there.
Yeah, really nice finish for the boys in 3rd. Girls, 5th place finish, definitely respectable as well. Courtney Killian finished 1st in the long jump, a distance of 16 foot 6 inches. Rachel Dieters was 2nd in the shot put. The 2nd place finish also for the 4x100 meter relay team. Grace Henneman 6th in the 300-meter hurdles. Courtney Killian 7th in the triple jump. Ellie Biggins 7th in the shot put. Another 7th place finish for Grace Kerr in the pole vault. Vogt finished 8th in the 100-meter hurdles, as did Akiri in the 200-meter dash. On the boys' side, 2nd place finish for Jordan Nolan in shot put. 4th place for Nolan in the discus. And look at this, high jump. Isaac Johnson in 2nd place with Taylor in 3rd, just a couple inches behind him at 5'8". Marks finished 3rd in the pole vault. Tarnu was 3rd in the triple jump, with Hoyam finishing 5th in that event. Mende finished 5th place in both the 110 and 300-meter hurdles. So while Hoyam was bringing home gold, he was finishing 5th in both of those events, and that's a nice thought when you think about 8 different teams there.
Yeah.
How many runners each in that?
It's been consistent.
And you have 2 guys finish in the top 5. They were supposed to have the Bengal Invitational today. I don't think that happened.
I don't think so either.
Either way, we'll update you next week on Sportsnight. Big event coming up next Tuesday in Elk River for the track and field teams. That's when they compete in the Section 5 AA True Team Meet. Boys golf team has been getting out on the course this past week. It started with a tournament against the Northwest Suburban Conference teams at North Fork on the 25th. Cardinals finish in 13th. Connor Wise leading the way with an 83 on the day. Carter Heeman had an 89. Jake Van Holzen an even century. Himley was 103, and Klebeck got in with a 106. Then on Monday, the Cardinals playing with the Northwest Suburban teams at Rush Creek. Connor Wise again had the lowest score for the Cardinals with a 91. Jake Van Holzen just 1 stroke behind. Carter Heeman had a 95. Klebeck a 104. 107 for Roberstad, and Derek Knapp finished the day with a 118. It's It's a start. It's not where you start. It's where you finish.
It's definitely where you finish.
And there's a lot of really good teams in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Fortunately for the Cardinals, they're still very early.
Yep.
They kind of know what they have. It's nice to see some of those numbers that are very consistent front to back nines, and hopefully they'll consistently creep down.
Yeah, and you talked about tennis being a mental game. Boy, golf I think is even more so. Yeah.
I just thought I'd help you out because you seemed to have trouble with the mentality of being on television. Just for a second, though.
Me?
Cardinals,
yeah, it's first time.
Cardinals' next event is at Refuge with the Northwest Suburban Conference team. They're at Victory Links. That's next Tuesday. And then the following Tuesday, Northwest Suburban Conference at Victory Links in Blaine. Girls golf team had just one event last week going head-to-head with Champlin Park. The Cardinals traveled to Edinburgh, USA course in Brooklyn Park on Thursday to take on the host Rebels. The Coon Rapids lineup hoping they can improve on already decent scores to start the season. A beautiful day as the Cardinals and Rebels prepare to take the course for some friendly competition. Annabeth Kalo had a great start to the season as co-medalist against Centennial. Fortunately, not able to duplicate that effort at Edinburgh. Kalo finishes middle of the Cardinals lineup with a 56. Junior Natalie Whitney opened the season with a 57. Well, she got some things straightened out against the Rebels. Great putt right here, part of the reason she led the Cardinals with a team low 47. Kylie Wilson teeing it high and letting it fly. The sophomore wasn't on the opening day lineup, but she put up a respectable 59. It may mean she sticks around for a while. Ashley Shelton up next for the Cardinals. She struggled a bit with the challenging layout at Edinburgh. She is able to stick the 6-foot putt coming up right here. Gets that hole finish. Shelton into the clubhouse with a 68 on the day. Caitlin Severson, another sophomore, starting to secure a spot in the everyday lineup. Severson scores a 62 against the Rebels, not quite low enough to factor into the team score. Another young player turning heads is freshman Kate Garbo. She was steady on course at Edinburgh. Posted the Cardinals' second lowest score with a round of 52. Cardinals, as a team, put up a 214, well off pace of Champlin Park's 192.
With the weather being the way it is, and the team's been able to get a fair amount of activity, and it really helps. As we talk about some of these younger players that, because of the fact that they're getting out there and they're improving their scores, they're getting more of an opportunity to get in that varsity lineup.
This is a very young team all down the course, and they actually had back-to-back tournaments to start this week, and they kind of split up who was playing so that they could show off their depth a little bit, and at the same time give a lot of people an opportunity to step up. On Monday, they were at Purple Hawk, 10th place finish out of 13 teams. Garbo finishing with the top round for the Cardinals at a 111. Annabeth Kalo at 119. No shot a 120 with Nicole Bissett hitting a 124. Allshouse had a 126 and Shelton finished with a 131. On Tuesday, today, they only had time to get in 9 holes before the weather shut them down for the Elk River Invitational. Garbo, again, the low score for the Cardinals with a 54. Kylie Wilson shot a 56. Shelton had a 58. Butler a 59. Severson a 60. And Allen a 69. So able to shake some things up in the lineup between those two events, which is nice, and see who's going to be able to stick around for more. Girls golf team, of course, still has a lot to get to this season. They have the Northwest Suburban Conference Tournament coming up on, that's end of this week? No, it's next week.
Next week.
Yep. I think they actually play Blaine on Thursday, head-to-head, and then the Northwest Suburban Conference Tournament at Majestic Oaks on the 6th. They're at Elk River to face off against the Elks head-to-head on the 9th. Boys lacrosse team finally got the season started last week, and they had 3 very tough games. It started with a 20-1 loss at the hands of Maple Grove. A.J. Carls getting the lone goal with the assist going to brother Tommy Carls. On Wednesday, they lost to Blaine 16-5. A.J. had 2 goals and an assist. Tommy had a goal and an assist. Morissette put in 2 goals for the Cardinals. Hausker made 11 saves in the loss. That actually should say Elk River 16, Coon Rapids 6. They lost for the third time in the week. Anderson had 2 goals to lead the way for the Cardinals. AJ and Tommy each had a goal and an assist. And Harry Koval got on the scoreboard as well.
Yeah, very impressive, Harry Koval. It was a rough first week for the boys lacrosse team, as we talked about, no question. But this week started with an opportunity. On Monday night, the Cardinals hosted the Spring Lake Park Panthers, another team struggling to find offense and compete with elite teams in the area. The Cardinals knew if they could stay on their game, they could beat the Panthers and get their first win of the season. Coon Rapids able to control much of the tempo in the early going. They finally cash in midway through the first quarter. Tommy Carl's running down the right side, shoots back across the grain to net the game's first goal. Well, every time the Cardinals scored, though, Panthers answered. Second quarter, Leighton Long from the left side goes underhanded, rips it past Hausker to even the score at 2 apiece. Well, goals were at a premium in this one, and no one led for long. Midway through the third, Brock Jameson to Harry Koval out front, turns, scores, makes it 3-3 just 11 seconds after the Panthers had taken a lead. Longest lead of the night goes to Spring Lake Park as well. They get it down low to Sam Wrightson for the goal. That made it 5-4 early in the fourth. Score's going to stay that way until the last 2 minutes. Tommy Carl's able to create some space on the spin move, score the second goal of the game. This one forces it to overtime. Nice goal there. Cardinals had their chances, but the Panthers only need 1 in overtime. Great passing in transition. Andrew Erickson gets the goal from the Cardinals, and the Cardinals fall short. And they score 6-5 in OT, in a tough way to lose that one.
Yeah,
they outplayed them.
I thought they did. I thought they had far better chances. The star of the game we talked about all night long is Rosa between the pipes for Spring Lake Park. He was the difference. Coon Rapids had the better opportunities, just not able to put enough away. Cardinals at Centennial on Tuesday, and they host Andover on Friday. I think the Centennial game tonight may have been postponed.
Probably.
Girls lacrosse team also opened with Maple Grove last week, losing to the Crimson 14-7. Tom had a hat trick to lead the way. Grace Fanula added 2 goals for the Cardinals, a goal each for Molenkamp and Griffith. There's nothing like starting the season with the best the conference has to offer. After opening with last year's second-place Crimson, Cardinals took on defending champion Blaine. Bengals were 12-1 in the regular season last year and made it to the state tournament. They beat Irondale 11-3 last Monday. We're looking to pick up right where they left off. Cardinals would clearly need to be at the top of their game in order to keep pace. Instead, the Cardinals were setting the pace early in this one. Rowan Tom slicing through the slot, scoring low, give Coon Rapids the early 2-0 lead. Tom had 3 goals for the second game in a row. Still in the first, Grace Hanula with a long run. She's going to weave her way through the defense, get one of her 2 goals in the game, 3-0 Cardinals. Blaine with a free position. Heather Beebe goes to her right, shoots low, but Hannah Stadolka makes the save to keep the Bengals off the board. Cardinals keep the pressure on in the Bengals' end. For most of the first period, Mackenzie Molenkamp bumped off the ball, but she's able to scoop her right back up, put it in the back of the net. Coon Rapids up 5-1 at that point. More Cardinals offense. Tom backs away on the near side, finds Kennedy Bolander cutting into the middle. Bolander scores low, 6-1, but then the Bengals begin to battle back. Speed on display for Peyton Parent. She streaks down the field, fakes it, fires it past Stadolka. Blaine able to cut the lead to 6-4 before the half. Second half, Bengals start with a different tune. Beebe wins this battle, immediately turns toward the Cardinal net. She scores, and Blaine takes its first lead, 7-6. They pretty much controlled the second half. Brielle Fussy works her way through the Cardinal defense, scores with the low backhand to make it 10-7. Bengals go on to the 13-9 win. On Monday, Cardinals lose a close one to Spring Lake Park, 8-6. They also start their season at 0-3. But we are running way out of time here on Sports Night. We do have a lot coming up for you. Softball on Thursday. Night game against Andover at Wintercrest on Friday night. Baseball again next Tuesday at Anoka. That's going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young saying good night.